On July 17, 1968, in a small village of Henan Province, China, a child was born. His name was Yang Xinhai. The village was a place of poverty, where hard labor and survival were a way of life. And from within this soil of struggle came a boy who would one day grow into the most feared killer in China's history. Yang Xinhai was the youngest among 4 children. His home was nothing more than mud walls and a broken roof. His father was a farmer, toiling day and night in the fields, while the family lived under the heavy weight of poverty and hunger. His mother spent her days caring for the home and raising the children. From childhood, Yang was known to be quiet, withdrawn. He was a good student in school, but in his eyes, there was a strange emptiness, something that unsettled those around him. Villagers remember Yang as a bright child. He showed talent, especially in math and science, but his family's financial condition was so poor that even paying the simple school fees became impossible. In 1985, at the age of just 17, Yang dropped out of school. He refused to return home. "I don't want this village poverty," he told his father. And then he walked away, leaving his home behind forever. He wandered across the vast lands of China, surviving on hard labor. At times he worked in coal mines, other times on construction sites. His life had turned into that of a drifter, homeless and restless. It was a time when China was rapidly changing. The era of economic reforms had begun. Yet in the rural villages, poverty still ruled every life. Yang watched as the rich grew even richer, while the poor, like him, were left behind in the shadows. The poor, like him, could barely survive even after endless labor. In his eyes, the seed of hatred had been planted. He asked himself, "Why is this my fate? Why am I always seen as less than everyone else?" In 1988, Yang's life took its first dark turn. He was working as a laborer in Xi'an, Shanxi, but poverty pushed him toward crime. One day he stole from a store and was caught red-handed. The court sent him to a labor camp. There, endless hard work became his fate. He broke stones, dug the earth, and endured harsh conditions. But instead of softening him, this experience hardened his heart, turning him even more ruthless. Ultra-realistic cinematic scene of Yang Xinhai in 1991, inside a Shijiazhuang labor camp, Hebei, China. Yang in worn prisoner clothes, working under harsh conditions, guarded by stern officers. Other prisoners shown laboring with hopeless expressions. Background: barbed wire fences, cold, bleak environment. Reform slogans faintly visible on walls. Atmosphere: oppressive, grim, documentary-style lighting with strong shadows. Style: Netflix true crime documentary. Maintain Yang Xinhai's consistent identity. In 1996, the darkest chapter of Yang's life began. In Zhumadian, Henan, he attempted to rape a woman. He was caught and sentenced to 5 years in prison. Behind the prison walls, Yang lived in solitude, reading books and sinking deeper into his own dark thoughts. In prison, fellow inmates called him the silent monster. He never fought, yet the terrifying gleam in his eyes was enough to instill fear. In 1999, Yang was finally released. Now 31 years old, he stepped into a world that was no longer the same. A world that felt darker and far more dangerous. After his release, Yang thought he was free, but inside he was already shattered. He found a girlfriend. Yet when she discovered his past, the theft, the attempted rape, she left him. For Yang, this blow was unbearable. This breakup was the final blow for Yang. He thought, society rejects me, so why should I accept society? Now his hatred was about to turn into action. This was the moment when a broken man would transform into a monster. In late 1999, Yang committed his first murder, but the details remain unclear to this day. According to official records, his true killing spree began in 2000. On September 19, 2000, in Goshuang village, Joku, Henan, Yang slipped into a home under the cover of night. He had once been just a laborer, but now he had become a killer. Picking up a hammer, he brutally murdered 2 people inside the house. This was his first experiment. Later, Yang confessed, Killing gave me a strange sense of power. It made me feel alive. Yang's method was simple yet terrifying. He wandered through rural villages under the cover of night, targeting farmers' homes. He always wore new clothes and oversized shoes to leave no trace behind. In rural China, doors were often left unlocked. People trusted one another, but Yang turned that trust into a weapon. He would enter silently, striking with a hammer, an axe, or a spade. Entire families were slaughtered, leaving no witnesses behind. Often, he would also rape the women. Yang's trail of murders spread across 4 provinces: Anhui, Hebei, Henan, and Shandong. Entire regions trembled under his reign of terror. On October 1st, 2000, in Fuyang, Anhui, in Chunshuzhuang village, Yang mercilessly killed 3 people and raped a woman. The darkness of night was his closest ally. He entered the house, where a family was sleeping. First, he killed the father, then the mother, and finally the child. After the rape, he walked away, as if nothing had happened. This bloody pattern was repeated again and again. On August 15th, 2001, in Fangqilu village, Luohe, Henan, Yang murdered 3 people and raped 1 woman. By now, he was more confident. By day, he worked as a laborer, just an ordinary man. But by night, he became a monster, and no one suspected him. 2002 became Yang's bloodiest year. In January, in Tongsu County, Kaifeng, he killed 3 and raped 1. In June, in Fugu County, Zhoukou, he murdered 4 and raped 1. In July, in Dengzhou, Nanyang, he killed 4 and raped 2. The months changed, but Yang's thirst for blood never stopped. October 2002, in Zaihu village, Jamadian, Yang murdered a father and his 6-year-old daughter with a shovel. Then he raped a pregnant woman. She was gravely injured, but survived. She became one of the very few survivors. Later, she said, there was no mercy in his eyes. He was a devil. In November, in Shanghai County, Yang murdered 4 people, raped 2 women, and left 1 seriously injured. In December, in Luzhuang village, Zhumadian, he slaughtered 5 people and raped 1 woman. By now, Yang's killings had exceeded 30 lives. The police suspected a serial killer was at large, but in rural China, investigations were nearly impossible. No DNA testing, no CCTV surveillance. Yang roamed free. He thought killing was ordinary. It gave him pleasure. His hatred was against society itself. He looked at wealthy farmers who treated him as inferior, and he struck back. But his murders were completely random. Old or young, men, women, or children, it didn't matter. In 2003, the killings continued. In February, Yanling, Henan, 3 murders. In April, Heze, Shandong, 4 murders and a rape. In July, Huainan, Anhui, 2 murders. In August, Shijiazhuang, Hebei, 5 murders. That was his final act of bloodshed. By then, across 26 incidents, 67 murders, 23 rapes, and 10 serious injuries. The largest killing spree in China's history. November 3rd, 2003, in Guangzhou, Hebei, Yang was spotted at a recreational spot. During a routine police check, he appeared suspicious. He was taken into custody immediately. Investigations revealed he was wanted across 4 provinces. DNA testing linked Yang to every murder. He confessed, "I have killed 67 people," he said. "I feel no regret." Yang revealed that his motive was revenge. In an interview, he said, "When I killed people, I felt a desire. That desire pushed me to kill again." Yang said, "I don't care whether they deserve to live or not. That is not my concern. I have no desire to be part of society, and society doesn't care about me." On February 1st, 2004, the Luohe Intermediate People's Court sentenced Yang to death. Chinese media described it as the longest and most horrific killing spree since the founding of the People's Republic of China. On February 14th, 2004, Yang was executed by firing squad. His body was later cremated, thus ended the story of the bloodiest killer in China's history. Yang Xinhai's story is a grim lesson for China. His killings reflected poverty, social injustice, and deep psychological darkness. But he was no hero. He was a monster who claimed the lives of the innocent. This story reminds us that when society forgets its vulnerable, monsters can rise from the shadows. His motives were never truly clear. Some say it was the heartbreak after his girlfriend left him. Others say he simply enjoyed killing. The story ends here, but the lesson remains. Stop hatred or monsters will rise.